hello there. It's Paul Mash TV. Time again. Thank you so much for joining us. We got another great interview coming up for you shortly. But before we begin, don't forget about the subscribe and bell buttons down there if you haven't done that already. And anytime a new episode comes your way, you'll be notified. And follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/, Paul Mash TV. And you can inbox us and comment the things you see there. And we'd love to hear from you there. And you can email us as well, paulmashtv, all one word, at gmail.com. And if you're a band or a solo artist that wants to be on the show, you can email us and we'll show you how to do that. But you can also use that same email address if you're just simply a fan. So just send us a letter, we'll get back to you. And all this will be recapped for you at the closing credits at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. From Clockface, United Kingdom, we have Toni West with us today, a very awesome artist, and I think you're going to agree. And we're going to get to that in just a second, but here's another quick word from Galtar, the guitar made specifically for a woman. So don't go away, we'll be right back right after this.
Ready in 5.
Darling, when nothing else seems to match up. Galtar, the musical apparel that fits any outfit. Galtar, bringing heaven to earth, one gal at a time. GaltarHeaven.com.
Okay, we're back from commercial, and with us from Clockface, United Kingdom, we have Toni West with us today. Thanks for joining us, Toni.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, no problem. We're glad to have you here. Why don't we start by the obvious question? Tell us a little bit about how it all got started for you. I mean, I'm sure you've always wanted to be an artist. Maybe it came much later in life. Everyone has their own story, like I said, but tell us in your own words.
Well, I always tell this funny little story at the beginning because my brother and I, when we were about 6 and 7, we used to go to my grandma's on the bus, and it was quite a long journey. So what we used to do, we used to stand at the front of the bus and sing to all the other passengers. And I think they enjoyed it, but they were a bit of a captive audience at the time, so they had no choice. But professionally, about 14, I started singing. I was singing in a local youth club, and there was an agent in, and he approached me and said, would you like to audition for me and perhaps appear in some clubs that I've got on my books? And I said, well, you'd have to ask my mum and dad, because being 14, I couldn't make that decision. And they were thrilled to bits because my mum and dad, they were Saturday nights, were going out to clubs watching acts sing. So they were delighted. So I went along and I did the audition and I got the bookings, and it went on from there. And then again, there was someone in the audience at a club one night. He was the manager of a boy band from Liverpool, a band called the Riot Squad. And they were looking for a girl singer at the time. So he said, would you like to come along, see how you get on with the lads and see if it'll work for us? So I did that and I joined them. Now, can you imagine, like, a 14-year-old teenage girl playing all these fabulous clubs in Liverpool, like the Cavern and the Peppermint Lounge and the Mardi Gras and all those kind of places? Because I was a real avid Beatles fan anyway, so it got such a kick out of that. I was with those boys for quite a while, and then I joined a local band in St Helens, and they were called the Vogue. And the lead guitarist in the Vogue is a guy called Jeff Taggart. Now, Jeff features largely later on in my story when I get into doing country music. Because when I was with the bands and when I was first solo, I just did cover music. I didn't write my own songs. I don't play any instruments or anything like that. So I was just doing covers, and any genre of music I did, because I never had a particular favorite. I just knew what I liked. So I would sing songs from the shows. I would sing country music. I would do like Dusty Springfield, Cilla Black. I do Patsy Cline, a complete mix. I do rock and roll. whatever the club people wanted, because that's what they liked then. They liked a good mixture of music that they could either sing along to or dance to. So that was great. I got to about 18, 19, and I made the very brave decision, I thought, to go solo again. So that's what I did from there. And again, just doing cover music. You know, I didn't write my own stuff at that time. And very successfully, you know, really enjoyed it. I'm going on too much for you here. Just stop me if you want to. I think it was about 2000, and there was a trend at the time. People were starting using backing tracks rather than using organ and drums, which was the backing on the clubs at that time. And I thought, well, why not give it a go? Because I'd seen a few acts and they're really good, and I thought it was a good sound. So I approached Jeff. This is where Jeff comes back into it. He's probably my biggest inspiration in my singing career, I must say that. And I went to his studio and he started doing backing tracks for me. And I was using those for quite some time and really enjoyed doing that. And at the time, I don't know if you've heard of a guy called Jim Newcomb from Canada. He's a songwriter. Well, Jim and Jeff went to school together and they wrote country music, and they wrote for people like Ben Hewitt, Carl Mann, Hayden Thompson, Charlie Gracie, and people like that. Jeff even had a song, an instrumental song that he wrote called Breakthrough that the Shadows recorded at that time. So they said to me, how do you feel about recording some of our tracks? And I jumped at the chance, you see, because I'd never done it before. And so I recorded some of their songs, and I recorded a LP called, well, LP, that's going back, isn't it? CD called Lost in My Memories. And they said, well, what you should do now is you should send it out to all the indie stations and all the DJs that play country music and see how it goes. And it was very well received, I'm pleased to say. Then Jeff and I carried on and we started writing together. So we've written, I think it must be about 100 songs now. We've got quite a catalogue of songs. And I did another CD after that called Another Glass of Wine, and that went out. So that's my journey into country music. It started quite late, really. So as I say, about in 2000 it would be. But it's been so well accepted. I'm thrilled to bits by how many people have played the songs and how many people wanted to buy this CDs. And we're still doing it now. In fact, Jeff and I, occasionally now, we go out as a duo and just do small local gigs. And then again, we do a lot of our own music and we do cover songs as well. So you can say it's ongoing. It's ongoing.
Well, that's quite the story there. And
Yeah.
I know she mentioned like you know, the Beatles and Dusty Springfield and
Oh yeah.
although they must have been really big influences on you. Did you have a few others besides that?
I can't say I had one particular person that influenced me to sing, because as I say, I just hear the songs, and if I like them, I want to sing them. So I can't say that, you know, I've not really got any favourites. I do kind of go, if I'm listening to people, I do kind of go for the big ballad types. I mean, I like people like Celine Dion, but on the countryside, I like Martina McBride because she's got that big voice, and I just love that kind of music. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, well, she's pretty good too, and I definitely know you have a great sound, by the way, and
Thank you.
well, can we find all your music at? Is it on all streaming platforms? Can we also follow you on social media as well? Give us the details on that.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook, Toni West Music. My music's on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, on my website as well, and lots of stuff on YouTube.
Mm.
So, yes.
Okay, well, everybody go out to those streaming platforms she just said, follow her on all those social media sites as well,
Uh-huh.
and I know that she would love you for that. And I think you already mentioned the song "Another Half of Me," I think it's called.
The Other Half of Me. That's the latest song we've just done, yes.
Okay, I
Yeah.
think you mentioned that earlier. I'm not sure, but is there a story behind this song that you can tell us?
Not so much a story. I think what it is, a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, she lost her husband some time ago. And, you know, we had this conversation and it was about going out, meeting other people. And she just had this guilt, you know, this guilt feeling and I thought that is such a shame because, I mean, he was a lovely guy, a husband and everything. But I said to her, you know, you've got to, yes, you've grieved for him and you grieved for him for a long time, but you've got to remember to laugh again. You've got to remember to go out there and have fun again and not feel guilty because whatever or wherever you go or whatever you do now, you've still got him there in your heart and he will know that. So this is kind of my song to my loved ones, if you like. Yeah, grieve for me, but don't forget, live your life. Because you only get one go, don't you?
Yeah.
So you've got to go for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Sounds a bit morbid, I know, but it's not really morbid. I just want them to know that whatever they do, you know, as long as they've got me still inside there, go for it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, as I said, it's a really great song, and I know everybody's
thank you.
ready to watch the video of that. And we'll get to that in a second. But Toni, we want to thank you so much for being on the show today. Come back anytime you want to come back, and you can.
Oh, thank you. As I said, I was a bit out of my comfort zone doing this, but you've been great, and I've enjoyed it. So thank you. Thank you. Thanks for asking me.
I appreciate that. Everybody told me that. So anyway, without further ado, here's a song by Toni West, and it begins right now.
We didn't get a chance to say our last goodbye. There were so many things I wish I told you. I have loved you for a lifetime. You were my reason to be, and I'll miss you now and forever, 'cause you'll always be the other half of me. We had such happy times when we were together. You know I would never choose to leave, but there were other plans for us that we just didn't see. I truly hope you find the strength, 'cause you'll always be the other half of me. As you walk through life without me, think of me watching over you. As I live deep inside your heart, I'll be your guardian angel, your shining light. We'll never really be apart. Never be apart. When you wake each morning, don't you shed a tear. Please remember the happy times and wear a smile. Fill your life with happiness until we meet again. I'll be waiting